Lego Brit here with a brand new Lego Star Wars review. Today I'm taking a look at set 75273 Poe Dameron's X-Wing Fighter. This set released in 2020 has 761 pieces, 4 minifigures and retailed for £90 or $90. As per usual with all my Lego Star Wars reviews, first up I'm going to be taking a look at the minifigures. Well, it wouldn't be a Poe Dameron's X-Wing Fighter without a Poe Dameron minifigure, and this figure does not disappoint at all. The dual molded helmet here looks absolutely fantastic, really accurate to how we see it in The Rise of Skywalker, and I love the yellow tint it's got to it as well. The figure actually does have a dual molded face, and you can see a more stern expression towards the back, and that's great as well, so a really detailed head and helmet. The Lego figure actually does include Poe's hair, which is a really nice inclusion. Wasn't sure whether they were going to include it, but they decided that they would, and it works really well, so when Poe's out of his X-Wing, you can have his usual hair, and he can have his helmet on when he's flying. Moving down the figure, the torso and legs there have such a continuous print, which really just goes to show how well thought out and accurate this minifigure is. There have been quite a few renditions of Poe in Lego, and I think this is definitely one of the best. So turning it around, you can see that we do have a nice torso print to the back, which is great as well, and Poe holds a silver blaster, which is nice, but that is his weapon there. Next up we have Poe's trusty companion in his X-Wing from The Rise of Skywalker, and that is R2-D2, and he is pretty much like every other Lego R2-D2 there has ever been. There's really nothing special about him. One criticism, maybe add the third leg. I think Lego, it is time to add a third leg to the astromech droids, but it does look really, really good as well. It's just the usual R2-D2, not much to say. Nice print there, legs attached as well, and you can see he's on the stand, rotates quite easily, so that's really, really good. That's just R2-D2 there. Now, this is where, in my opinion, the minifigure selection starts to get exciting. So here is the Knight of Ren, who is exclusive to this set, and he looks absolutely amazing. The helmet mold here looks absolutely fantastic and really dynamic, and the torso and leg print, as well as being really continuous, really also fits the character's dark side look for there. Unfortunately, there isn't a face print, but because his face is covered up throughout the whole of The Rise of Skywalker, I don't think there was much to expect there in the first place. There is a great back print as well, which is really, really good and fits with the rest of the figure. And for the weapons, he has a silver gun, just like Poe, and this really cool brick-built weapon, which looks really great too. So an absolutely outstanding figure for the Knight of Ren. And our final minifigure in this set is going to be Janna, who is the second out of 2 exclusive minifigures, just like the Knight of Ren, and oh my goodness, this minifigure is absolutely outstanding. I really, really love the hair mold that they did for her. I think that's really great, and the binoculars mold there is awesome too. The character does have a dual face, which is really good, so you can see a stern expression on the front and turning it around for a more placid look, so that contrast is great for kids playing with the minifigure, or if you just want to display your minifigure in a certain emotion. Now, this minifigure is the only one in the set to have arm printing, which is absolutely fantastic inclusion. Seemed quite unnecessary to do that, but I'm really glad that Lego went above and beyond to include arm printing for this minifigure, and I definitely want to see more minifigures with arm printing in future. This torso print here is great. You can see she has a flesh tone, and her outfit represents her really well. Turning it around, we have a back print, which just shows Lego going above and beyond again, because it is primarily covered by her weapons, being those arrows at the back and the bow at the front. Unfortunately, low leg printing, which is a bit of a shame, but I suppose at the end of the day, this is an absolutely fantastic minifigure and a great exclusive one to have. So in general, this set has a really great minifigure selection that does not disappoint. Now, before we move on to the main X-Wing build over there, I just want to briefly touch upon the little build that we get with it being a ladder. Now, the previous renditions of the X-Wings were cheaper and had much better mini builds. I really don't think this is a great mini build. It is a nice ladder, I suppose, but it really, really isn't very good. Previous ones had like plant scenery and transports to put the figures on, and this really, really does make up for it as a mini build. I think this X-Wing being more expensive deserves a better mini build, but obviously this is not what you're buying the set for. You're buying the set for this awesome build right here. Now, minifigures and mini builds all out the way, it's time to talk about the X-Wing build. Starting at the front of the X-Wing, the design here looks so slick, and I absolutely love the white colouring. I think they did a fantastic job of widening the X-Wing really gradually so that it doesn't look bulky in any places. However, the front of the X-Wing here is a bit weak, and you can see that it will snap off if you try and pick it up from here, so you want to pick it up from the back, where there is an awesome feature which we're going to discuss right now. At the moment, this ship here doesn't look like much of an X-Wing. Oh wait, Now it's an X-Wing. It is time to discuss the feature that makes the X-Wing work. Before I forget, there's one feature of the set which I really love, which isn't mentioned really on the box at all, and that's this landing gear here, which can go in and out, and it stops just there, which is really cool. But the landing gear isn't what I'm talking about. It's how the landing gear can prop up and allow you to display it in the classic X flight mode. I think that looks really good. That's how I'm displaying it. However, if you want it in the official landing mode, you can push that down, and then it turns to landing mode. Now, the feature that makes this set an X-Wing really is very clever. So you push forward on that lever there, and then that puts it into the classic X flight position, which is really good. And that pushes forward some elastic bands you can see just there, which extend the wings, and that is such a clever design. I really applaud the designer who came up with this. This used to be a thing that you'd turn for the previous X-Wing models, but they've certainly changed it, and it looks a lot more accurate and a lot better as well. Now, to reset the X-Wing into landing mode from flight mode is super easy. Now you can see that there's a little knob at the bottom there, and it is super easy. All you do, push down on the X-Wing, that little thing goes in, and now the X-Wing is back into landing mode. Alternatively, if you're actually holding the X-Wing, all you need to do is push it in with one of your fingers, and you don't actually have to push it against anything. Just, I thought I'd mention that. The engines of the X-Wing, I think, are definitely worth mentioning because they look absolutely fantastic. Actually, the whole colour scheme of this X-Wing looks really good. Now, I wasn't actually too keen on it beforehand. However, looking at it now, having it in hand looks absolutely awesome. You can see we have the blue there, we have some orange there, we have the whole white colour scheme, some purple at the back. It just looks absolutely amazing and really dynamic as well. And these front engines of the X-Wing are definitely the best models to date. There's been loads of different designs for the front of the X-Wing engines, and this looks absolutely phenomenal. When you open it out, it looks like that, and it doesn't actually lose its integrity. It still looks really good, and it looks like it does in the movies. You can see on the box there, it looks really good as well. These engines look so slick, and I love how it actually stays together, and these four pieces don't separate and look really wonky. Just before we move on, I want to say how much I absolutely love these gun turrets here. They look really awesome, and they're stabilized, they're technically pinned in, they look great, and they're really accurate too. So moving on to extra play features, obviously aside from the main one really, which is opening it out and shutting it back into landing mode, we have a couple of spring-loaded shooters, and they're pretty much a staple of LEGO Star Wars at this point. We all know how they work. There's another one on the other side, but I'm not going to bother firing that one. They do sometimes fire off when you're moving it from landing mode to flight mode, which can be annoying, but I suppose that's something you just have to sacrifice for such a great feature. Another nicely integrated play features are these stud shooters, which are on either side, and they look really good. There's another one on that side just there, and they are really integrated really well. I'm glad they didn't just stick them on the top of the front of the X-Wing there. Really well integrated, and they're a great play feature for kids as well. Now, I guess the final thing to say about this absolutely fantastic X-Wing build has got to be the cockpit, and it's such a great cockpit area. You can see, putting that in there, we have a nice control panel there, a lever, and a space for Poe to put his gun. There's controls actually on both sides there, which is great. It's very easy to put Poe in there like that, and I like to put his hair in there just for storage as well, so that keeps that safe too. Now, moving on to the back here, we have a space for R2-D2 to go in, and he and Poe can fly together, and it looks really good. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this set actually worth £90 or $90? Well, considering that the Force Awakens Poe's X-Wing retailed for £70 or $80, it certainly feels like it's got a very hefty price tag. I personally got this set at the Amazon Prime Day price for £57, which was an absolutely great deal, and I would definitely recommend, if you're looking to get this set, you look for offers on it, particularly as it goes into its retirement. Thank you very much for watching this LEGO Star Wars review. I had a great time reviewing this set, and I think it's definitely an awesome one. So I hope you have a great day. Please do feel free to like and subscribe. Goodbye.